What's up, gang? Welcome to Room and Board. My name is Chris George, and today we have a Games Leaving the Collection video. 2021. I don't get rid of games, and this is a bad thing, and I'm attempting to get rid of more games. The last table talk was talking about the perfect collection size, and after that, it really made me start to reassess my own reasons for keeping games. And honestly, a lot of the reasons that I was keeping a bunch of these games is because I am now creating content on YouTube and I am enjoying it. And I thought, perfect, I have all these games that I can create terribly negative reviews on and then send them out the door. I don't even want to spend the time with these games needed to make those sorts of reviews. So I want to treat this video as mini reviews for these games. I'll share my opinions on them, what they do, and then get rid of them and move them on to someone else who will enjoy them. Because I'm a huge believer in that there's a game out there for everyone. Somebody out there will love one game more than anyone else. Maybe. There are some games out there that are truly, truly terrible. But often they don't get the sort of wide distribution to end up in many board gamers' homes, so they're a closet case. And that's one of the things that I love about the hobby, is that everybody has something different. Everybody loves certain things, everybody hates other things. And I think it's fantastic to exist in a hobby that is able to provide joy, some type of joy, to everyone out there. Maybe not as fantastic that it's able to provide steaming vitriol as well. But even going through this process, and I swear I'm going to get to the games in a second, even going through this process and taking the games off my shelf and shifting things around and putting games that I like better and will grab more on the shelf and surveying the shelf and seeing the difference that it made there was exciting and felt a bit like an exhale and a refresh. And that was really lovely. Because I've mentioned this before a few times when I got into this hobby, and I get a lot of my games, most of my games primarily on the secondhand market. I wait until I can see those deals and then I can grab them up and try them. Because then also I don't feel so bad about playing them only a few times because I didn't spend that much on them. I didn't buy them new. And then Kickstarter entered and well, whatever. But taking them off the shelf and putting them into a pile and saying, yeah, I'm done with these. I've had my fun, I've had my experiences, and I have better experiences that I can look at now, and I can fill my shelf with. When looking at it, the ideal for me is looking at the shelf. Everything I see, I want to be excited about. Ooh, can you imagine the sensation? And I just wasn't with some of these titles. And so that's my reasoning for culling, and why I would also take this time to have a mini encourage yourself to take a look at your shelf and just get rid of a couple. Or don't. If you love them all, then don't. Just get rid of a couple. You know the ones I'm talking about. And so for me, one of those was our first one, Seven Wonders. Now, I'd held on to Seven Wonders for a while. This was one of the first board games I ever received. My brother bought it for me as a gift for Christmas. And it's tough. It's tough parting with it because it was a gift. Because I'm a sentimental fool. And because I like to stay attached to these sorts of things. And Seven Wonders is a decent game. It's just a game that I have played a lot. And now it's gotten to the point where I look at it, and if someone were to suggest it, I would go, yeah, okay, let's play Seven Wonders. So I think it is time for me to move on from Seven Wonders. And there was a really nice moment, my friend Zach brought it up in our top 5 gaming memories about Seven Wonders that makes me really want to keep it. And oh, I can't even pry my fingers off of it right now. But at a certain point, these games become not dated, but done. And so Seven Wonders, I'm done with you. What a one to start off with. I wasn't expecting so much nostalgia. It's like saying goodbye to a friend that I've had many great memories with. But honestly, I don't pull out that much anymore. And so why is it on the shelf if it's not going to get played when someone else could enjoy it? So get out of here, Seven Wonders. I've got piles. I don't have that many. I have like 11. It's pretty good for me. I know there are still more that I will probably get rid of eventually, but I do have 11 right now, so I'm just going to grab them from the pile. Next up, I have Coup Rebellion. Now, Coup is a game that I am never, ever getting rid of. It's a game that I've played so much that the cars are worn and ratty, and I need to get sleeves for them because you have to hide most of them under your player mat in order for my version to be playable because they're all marked with unique tears. So you know exactly what rolls everybody else had. So I really, really like Coup. And so I was very excited about Coup G54 Rebellion because it gives you 25 rolls instead of the 5 rolls. You get to choose 5 rolls and shuffle them in and play a new game every time. I would just rather play Coup. And honestly, G54, it's probably because it's in such a large, dumb box. Let's see, I'll open it slowly. Slowly. This is the box. These are the cards. It's a bigger box so they can sell more copies. I like that you can organize these and pull them out, and then you got some randomizer cards down here. It does not need to be this size of a box. It feels cumbersome to pull out, feels cumbersome to open, and honestly, it feels sometimes cumbersome to set up and re-explain the rules and not have just a communal sheet that everybody can reference, which is one of the benefits of Coup. You say, hey, here's your sheet. You can do these abilities. You're legally allowed to do these abilities. You can claim to do anything, and as long as nobody catches you, your ability goes through. That's the premise of the game, last person standing. Coup's fairly well known, so maybe you've heard of it, but if not, it's a quick social deduction bluffing game, last person standing. And so Coup G54 I had really high hopes for, and it just doesn't get pulled out. I also love Coup because it's an incredible travel game, and hey, maybe if I could travel with this, it might have stuck around, but I can't. I mean, I could just put it in a smaller box, but we've made our decision. Next up, we have Flashpoint. So Flashpoint is a cooperative game. You're fighting fires. You have this big map, and you are trying to get all of the people out of the building to safety before the building burns down. Great theme, really highly rated. A lot of people like Flashpoint. I got it, and I like cooperative games. I like Pandemic. It feels pretty similar. You always have a certain number of actions, but it just didn't do it for me. I found Flashpoint a little bit too easy. I really enjoy punishing myself because I'm a bad boy and deserve it. But I like games, co-ops especially, that are punishing and that do feel really difficult. And Flashpoint, I just felt every time I played it, especially when we first... Flashpoint was unique in terms of it made me realize to never play the basic game. If a rulebook ever tells you, hey, try the basic game first and then add in these other things, don't do it. Just do the actual game first. Unless you're like completely new to playing board games, then yes, do the basic game. That'll introduce the concepts to you. But if you're watching this video, you're probably not. Never do the base first game. I thought it was so boring. And then when I played with the additional stuff, I thought, okay, cool, I can see the potential here and I can see the appeal from Flashpoint, but again, if I'm going to play a co-op, I'm going to play Pandemic, or I'm going to play Attack on Titan, the deck builder game, or I'm going to play any other sort of co-op that is a little bit harder, and so Flashpoint's got to move on. Now next we'll move on to our little zombie theme. This is one, it's called All Things Zombie. Honestly, I wish I could tell you about it, but I got this in a bundle, and I was excited to open it up. My girlfriend really likes zombies. That's why she's always trying to cut bits of flesh off me, I think. I opened it, I looked at it, I read through the rule book, and I thought there's nothing really about this sort of grid-based movement that I want to explore. And this was a unique one for me in terms of, because I got this in a big bundle deal, again, I wanted to approach it, and I wanted to get it played to the table because I wanted to learn more and more games. I want to sink my teeth into every game in existence. That's partly why I'm doing this YouTube channel. Sometimes, if it's on your shelf of shame for long enough and you're dreading playing it, and even when you read the rulebook that doesn't give you the excitement or impetus to play it, you should just accept that this was a bad decision and move on, and don't waste any more of your time on it. So that's what I'm going to do with the All Things Zombie. Somebody else can explore it and let me know how it is. If you've played it, hey, let me know if I should not give it away. Maybe it'll still be in my collection. Maybe I won't have sold it by the time this one goes out and you get back to me with your important knowledge. A zombie game that I have played is Last Night on Earth, and this one was fun. I mean, I got it. I picked it up for cheap. But you can tell by the amount of dust that I just wiped off the box that has gone everywhere that I clearly, it is not front of mind. Oh God. This one's fun. It's got a bunch of scenarios. It's kind of team-based. So if you have, I played it with 4 players. 2 of us were the zombies. 2 people were all the heroes. We had some really memorable moments in it. The football star went on a tear. He had to keep on rolling dice, and if he kept on rolling a high number, he was allowed to keep on running through zombies. And he almost managed to run through all the zombies. He got to the door. The door slipped out of his handle, slipped out of his grasp, and the zombies were able to devour him, and we were able to win the game as the zombies. But it provided for a really fun, memorable time. But it just, again, comes down to there are other spooky games that I want to play. Coming up, it's around Halloween when I'm filming this, we're planning to have some spooky board game nights, obviously, with our friends, with our various groups of friends. And I was looking over all my spooky games, and I thought, if I don't feel like pulling this out and teaching it people on a spooky game day, then it's got to go. We had a great time. We had a fun time with it when we played it, but it's just kind of lightweight scenario dice rolling, move your people around, and there are other games that do that thing, but better. If I want to roll dice and move my people around, I might play the others instead. So, sorry, Last Night on Earth. You're canned. And our final zombie game, I really want to keep. I don't think I will end up keeping it. I do want to play it for Spooky Game Night. Oh, we got a theme here of the dust. See, when there's copious amounts of dust on your games, that's how you can start with your decision of what you should cull. Look at the ones that have accrued the most dust and go with those. City of Horror is, again, something that I got early on in my board gaming life cycle because I got introduced to the hobby through Catan. And what I like about Catan is the modular board and the negotiation. So I looked up on the Snakes and Lattes Find Me a Board Game. I said, give me a modular board and give me negotiation. And up popped City of Horror. And I said, okay, great, I'm getting that. And the board isn't modular. It's 4 corners that you can rotate the corners, barely modular, and then you have this water tower. The premise of this one is you have 6 rounds, there's a helicopter coming to rescue you all from a zombie invasion. You just have to last out those 6 hours, or however long it is. Pretty sure it's 6. And you also need to get yourself a zombie vaccine before they'll let you on the helicopter. So you're going to be in one of these sort of 6 locations, actually, because you can go into the center of the board, which is the crossroads. You can also go to this water tower, which will inevitably explode at some point during the game. And in those locations, every round, if there are too many zombies outside, the people inside, the characters, you all have a team of characters. If you have 3 people, you have like 6 characters. If you have 6 people, you have 3 characters. So the character count remains consistent. Every character inside gets a vote on who they're going to throw to the zombies to save the other people inside the game. And I thought that concept sounded so good and so funny. You're arguing amongst each other of who's going to get thrown out. You're going to have to make these deals and negotiate who's going to get thrown out. But there isn't any other reason to throw someone out other than, oh yeah, who's in first? Oh, they still have all 3 of their characters. I guess we'll throw them to the wolves. I love negotiation in games, and there just aren't enough opportunities in this one to negotiate in the way that I would really want to negotiate, like down to the nitty-gritty. And there are no additional reasons to why you'd keep someone around, because everybody's points are pretty much visible and everybody's vaccines are pretty much visible. It just doesn't get that negotiation factor that I'd like. And even talking about it now, I feel pretty confident that it's going to go, although I do think I'm going to suggest it for Spooky Game Night and give it one last shot, one last hurrah. I would like to keep this game because the concept, again, is one that intrigues me, but sometimes the concept is better than the execution. And if that's the case and you aren't enjoying the execution, well, you're not playing the concept, you're playing the execution. So City of Horror is probably going to get the chop as well, but fun, like lightweight. I don't know. It's close. You can see why I've had so much trouble letting go of these sorts of games. A little one that I'm getting rid of. It's probably the only small one to get rid of. It's so easy to keep small box games. I know there are probably, here's another one. Gonna get rid of this one too. See, just by looking at the shelf, I have a little side table there. There are probably so many small box games that I don't often turn to, but by them being so small, actually I gotta check in with my girlfriend if she will let me get rid of this one. So this is a maybe. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of it. She doesn't play it. She doesn't ever ask for it. There's so many small games that just by their nature being small, you think, yeah, I'll keep it. Are you outside? Do you need in? Hey, while you're there, can I get rid of 8-Minute Empire? Yeah.
I don't like it.
I probably could get rid of it, and I looked and I saw that. I was like, yep, I don't care about it.
I mean, it's area control, so why would I give a fuck? But I kind of like it.
Yeah, you do. See, I knew that would be your response.
Well, it's easy area control, so it's kind of like gentle.
Okay, we'll keep it. We'll play it sometime and see if you like it again.
I don't mind it. I played it a bunch with Aussie.
Yeah, I know. Belay that.
People like chess.
It is not.
What? It's exactly like chess.
It is not exactly like chess. 8-Minute Empire lives to fight another day. But Caverna, for 2 players, does not. Then my thinking with this one is, I own Agricola. My friend Zach owns Caverna. Even at 2 players, I would much rather play that. This is a fun game. It's a fun little puzzle. You're uncovering spaces in your mind, and you're creating more space in that mind, and you're getting more powers and abilities as you do that. You're creating kind of rooms. You're buying rooms and chipping away the rock so you make beautiful rooms for your cave that you can dwell in. And it's head-to-head. You go back and forth drafting who gets to take what actions on this sort of long board. It's a decent game. It's fun. And it is Caverna Agricola light. More Caverna light, just the cave creating room aspect of it. If you don't want to play Caverna, yeah, you might like this. Me, I'd rather play Caverna. So even though the light nature of this promises that Caverna experience in a small amount of time, I'll opt for other games that have a similar playing time. And if I want that feeling, I'll just play the larger version of the game. So it is, I probably like this one the most, actually, out of everything that I'm getting rid of. Maybe not. So that's Caverna versus the Cave Farmers. No, Caverna Cave versus Cave. That's what it is. But speaking of ones that I kind of like, we have the other classic, Dominion. And Dominion is the grand pappy of all deck builders. It's true. They kind of are known for introducing the genre, or really bringing the genre to what it is right now. And people still love Dominion because there are countless expansions. Well, you could count them, but there are quite a few. I think they have over 10 now. 10 boxes filled with different cards. And I have played most of these expansions, but I've played most of them online when Dominion was free online. And they're fun. They add a depth to Dominion, and they add really interesting combinations. And it's a decent deck builder, but for me, they're so much better than the original base game, but I am not willing to invest the amount of money needed to get all of those cards, because realistically, I'm not going to pull out 6 boxes of Dominion to play a deck builder. I'm just going to play Clank, or I'm going to play Trains, which is basically Dominion, but has a board and is so much better. Trains absolutely kills Dominion. I never knew the statement of a game killing another game. I thought, games can exist, but no. Honestly, I am such a big fan of Trains. If you like Dominion, but you want to have a little bit of a board area control element, try Trains. It does everything Dominion does, but better. Dominion is fun though, and hey, I would play it a bunch online if I could still access it for free, because it's one of those things that I think almost works better online, because you can randomize your decks so quickly, bang out a quick game. It's a fun system, and there's lots to it, but for the base game, for my tastes, I gotta put this down because I feel all the cards shifting. Oh no. Oh, just a few. The Smithy, plus 3 cards. Better keep that one. Oh yeah, they all shifted. Curses, I say. Yeah, so just because I'm done with Dominion doesn't mean I don't think people will have a good time with it. I think if you're, again, new to the hobby, it's a fun entry point. There is no theme. If theme is what brings you in, again, Dominion's not for you. I almost forgot one over there on the table. I do not think is a good game, but everyone else will probably say is the best game on this list. Maybe. And that is Imperial Settlers. Maybe one of the highest rated games on this list. I don't know where it falls. But this one was just such a miss for me. And I played it a bunch of times because I bought it while my girlfriend and I were in Nova Scotia. I wanted a game. It was on sale at the local game store. So because their prices were significantly higher, it was about the same price that you'd pay in Toronto. And so I thought, okay, I've heard really good things about Imperial Settlers. Everybody talks about it. Look at all these little awards and nominations that it has on the box. It's gotta be good. And it's fine, but it's just fine for me. What it is you have these 4 different races. You can be Romans, barbarians, Japanese, and Egyptian. Oh, the dust, the dust. This dust check, no, it's fine. And what you do is you have this sort of main area and you build your regular buildings on this side and you build your like specialty buildings on this side, because each clan, each faction has their own deck of specialty cards, and then everybody gets to draw from a communal deck of different cards. And these buildings, they generate you different income. They give you different one-time use abilities. On your turn, you can, oh, beautiful blue jay. On your turn, you can draw some cards. You can play those cards. You can build them. You can spend tokens to pillage other people around the table and just break their buildings down, all in the pursuit of victory points. Your faction buildings have victory points, and these generally do not. Or they'll have abilities that you can turn resources into victory points, right? It's this whole sort of resource generation game while you build up your civilization in ways. And the civilization powers are cool. There's a lot that I thought I would like about this game, but it just sits at a fine for me. And I've played it with a bunch of different people at a bunch of different player counts, and it's always just felt fine. And it's one that I am angry feels just fine for me. And there are additional expansions with new races that you can bring in and new factions and new ways to customize your deck, and that just seems overwhelming to me. It is one of my most disappointing purchases, and I think when you have a game that hits that sort of level of disappointment, well, just get it out the door, because you're not going to want to pull it out. I've given this one so many shots, and sometimes games just don't gel with you. And this is the case with me. If you love Imperial Settlers, let me know why. I feel like this has the largest chance of being enjoyed by people out there. So please let me know why you like it, why I'm wrong, why I shouldn't have gotten rid of it. But honestly, it is this game that made me get all of these games together to get rid of. This was number one. If I had to keep all of them, I would still get rid of this, or maybe the last one. We'll see. Anyway, that's Imperial Settlers. It's okay. And I wish I could be a little bit more critical about it, because I want to be able to assist you in your purchases. It's made me not want to touch any of the Imperial Settlers brands either. And I hear Empires of the North is supposed to be so spectacular, but this was also supposed to be so spectacular. Maybe it gelled with you, or maybe it didn't. And hey, if you feel the same way about all of these games that I'm bringing up, well then that's fantastic. Let me know, and then also you can hopefully, anytime I put out a positive review, well, hey, we might be on the same wavelength. Wouldn't get rid of that one. All right, 2 more. This one is Tokaido, specifically Tokaido with the Crossroads expansion. Now, if you are familiar with Board Game Co., he just released our video that we did together where he said the top 10 worst games in my collection, and one of them was Tokaido, and this is the only one that I agreed with him on. Again, it was the sentimental part, wanting me to keep it. And I tried so hard to like this game. I played it a bunch on Board Game Arena. You can play it on Board Game Arena, so try it out and you'll see what I'm talking about. I played it with the Crossroads expansion at 4 players, and I thought, yes, I believe this is the only possible way to enjoy this game, is at 4 players with the Crossroads expansion. And even still, I don't ever want to pull it out, because the gameplay itself is just basic. You are... Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. The lid's not on right. You are traveling across the land from Hokkaido to Tokaido, maybe. I don't know where you're going from. Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. You're traveling across the land, but the person who's in last gets to move their person somewhere along the route. But it just becomes predetermined, because obviously you're going to try to move the fewest spaces so you get more actions, because the more actions you have, the better you will be. It's okay. Like, it can be really tight if you're playing with people who really know the game, but if you're not playing with people who really know the game, it's really boring. And, oh, like I was saying, my girlfriend got this for me. Somebody recommended it as a 2-player game, which was completely wrong. 401 Games, you should fire that member of your staff. No, you shouldn't. Times are tough. Yeah, it really wasn't a good purchase. I don't think I've ever really been excited to play it. I've played it a bunch on Board Game Arena, though. That is the optimal way to play it because you're finished with it in 15 minutes and you can move on with your day. Great soundtrack, though. I'll double down on that. And finally, a game that needs no introduction and will not fit on this table. So maybe we'll make it bridge. Twilight Imperium 3. No. And its stupid, stupid coffin box. And I just finished filming a review of Twilight Imperium 3. That's literally the only reason why it was still in my collection, because you know I got some things to say about it. I won't talk about it ad nauseum. You've heard about Twilight Imperium before. It's regaled as this incredible space opera epic, and it is just simply not. It isn't. It does not deliver on the promises that it makes you, and it's, like I said in my review, the abusive boyfriend of board games. I'll leave you with that teaser, I guess. I don't want to get too much into it. Basically, it's bad. And also, even if it were good, this is such an investment of time that you presumably will play it maybe once a year, maybe twice, maybe not. Maybe that's what your group loves to do, and you'd love to get together every Saturday, spend the whole Saturday together. Fantastic. But for those types of games that you only play once a year, how many of those games that you play just once a year or so infrequently do you need to keep? And if you didn't keep so many, would you play the ones that you like better? I know I certainly would. That's part of the reason why I want to get rid of some of these. So there you go. Those are the games that I am culling from my collection. Even City of Horror, I think. I don't know for sure. Mostly everything else. I feel very happy to get them off my shelves and to make room for the new, beautiful Kickstarter addiction acquisitions that are coming my way. I don't have much space, and I have some big boxes on the horizon. This for sure won't be the last one I do of this. I find these videos interesting. Let me know if you found it interesting, if you think it's cool. I'll try to be more critical and give more description about the games next time. I feel like I really dropped the ball on that one. If so, I'm sorry. But also, for a lot of these games, it comes down to, especially when you're going through this sort of initial purge, it comes down to, hey, I haven't played this in years. And that's one of the benefits I am finding. I just recently started tracking my plays. I did it more because I started YouTube and I felt like I wanted to have more statistics to back up certain claims or whatever, saying that, no, I have played this game X amount of times. So being able to track your plays and see, yeah, I haven't played these in over a year, in over 2 years for a lot of them. I haven't played this in over 31 years. I played it 31 years ago. Great. It was great. It was great back then. Yep, pretty consistently. Well, no, I played this one recently because I really wanted it. I wanted myself to be wrong. I was like, maybe I'm not playing with the right people. So I picked the people who I thought would be exactly the right people to play it with. And they didn't like it either. So see you later, Imperial Settlers. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks so much for hanging out. I always enjoy hanging out with you. I always enjoy hearing you in the comments as well. So let me know which of these you think is the best, which of these you think is the worst. If I made any mistakes, love to hear all that sort of stuff. It's always a great time. That's it. Enough of an outro. Once again, my name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase. I no longer have these games. I'd love to push them off the shelf, but I gotta sell them and turn them into new games, so see ya.